I've always wanted to grow my own crystals, but I didn't know how to do it. So I did a quick research online and I read a little bit about it. And I thought, hey, I'm going to try to create one of these borax crystals. And then I was like, you know what? I have this awesome skull I bought a long time ago. So when I bought this, they told me it was a raccoon skull. Seems a little bit small to be a raccoon skull to me, but I'm not sure. I know nothing about skulls. So I'm going to just say it's a raccoon skull. And what I want to do is put crystals all over this skull. So I need to have it in the borax. And so I made a little suspension thing so it kind of dangles and doesn't touch the bottom, so crystals will grow on the bottom of it as well. And then I was reading, so what you do is you boil water. Here in Australia, we boil water with a kettle. We don't have to use a stove. Most people use kettles, so we just pour the boiling water into a bowl. And once they get it completely filled up with that boiling water, then what you're going to do is put in a couple spoonfuls of the borax. So I was reading that once you open it up, you usually use a tablespoon, and you're going to put 4 to 6 tablespoons in. That looks close. Yeah, well, I don't know. I always kind of go overboard with things, so I'm going to give it a try and do it this way. I'm going to dump it all. Why not? Might as well do it. So I couldn't find anything great to stir it with, so I'm using a broom handle. Give it a try, make a little bit of a potion. So we're in the crystal shop doing potions, and we are making crystals. So we are actually doing magic down in the bottom of the crystal shop. Who would have thought it? Doing magic in a crystal shop. So what it said is keep stirring it until it is completely dissolved into the water. So I've got it completely running through, and there isn't any chunks of powder down in the bottom anymore. So once I have it completely mixed up, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the skull and suspend it down into that water where the borax is kind of mixed in. And then hopefully we'll have a crystal growing. So I wanted to set it up really safely into the bowl, so I put the wires on it so it would dangle just a little bit above the bottom of the bowl. But resetting it into the bowl was a little bit harder than I thought, because it had to be where the skull would completely be under and be submerged, because you didn't want to have an area where the crystals didn't grow. So I had to arrange it a little bit so that the skull would be completely submerged. But once I got it, it stayed pretty well. And I was pretty excited about it. I don't know. I can't wait. I think it's going to be so cool. I've never done this before, and I think a crystal skull is going to be great. I don't know. What a crazy mix. So we have magic potion. And it kind of smelled, and I didn't want to taste it because I think I would die if I tasted it because it's poison. And I thought, hey, let's put this in a safe place and watch some crystals grow. So this was after a couple hours. It was starting to change. I was getting really excited. And then this was after about 6 hours. And this was about 78 hours later when we pulled it out. Check it out. Look at all of these crystals. This is so awesome. So it grew huge borax crystals all over the skull. So what we once saw was this plain and beautiful little skull is now covered in crystals. And we have a crystal covered skull. So we have our own crystal raccoon. Look at this guy. Some of these juicy crystals, some of these things are huge. I guess we left it in there so long that the crystals really grew. Look at that, so beautiful. It's awesome, I love it. My first crystal skull I've